Hi, everyone. Blessings. Thank you for being here. Today, I am guided to bring to you a very special pick a card. And as I am recording this, it is the full moon, full blood moon lunar eclipse falling in the north node. And I did a video about a week ago where I talk about this energy. So I will link that in the description in the box below this video. So if you're interested in learning more about these energies, I invite you to check out that video. In summation, and how that ties into this reading today. This very special full moon is falling in the North Node. And the North Node is all about your destiny. What are you here in this timeline, in this human experience to be, to experience, to empower? It is an activation potential gateway of your soul mission. And so this reading is something that I was guided to do a few days ago, and I'm only now getting around to it. All is in divine alignment. Whenever you receive this message is exactly right for you, it is going to be pulling on this energy that I'm recording in, but when you receive it is exactly when it is meant for you. So I have drawn 3 piles, and then I'm going to clarify with tarot. So how this reading works is you're going to get one card that talks about what you have released in the last 6 months to 3 years. And then this other card is going to talk about what is now available for you to welcome because of this room that has been cleared. So this reading is for beings who have been doing their inner alchemy, shadow, soul work over the last few months, 2, 3 years. Take the messages as it resonates. This is a general reading, so I am picking up on a group of energies. So take the message that resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you're interested in booking a private reading to dive deeper into what is awakening for you at this time, I will also put a link to that in the bio, in the description box below. So you are welcome to explore that if it calls you. So we have group 1. What have you released because of the soul work that you have been doing in the last 6 months to 3 years? What have you released? And what is now incoming for you because of this room that you have cleared up? Pile 2, what have you released in the last 6 months to 3 years based on your own inner work? And now what is open and available and incoming for you because this room has been cleared? Group number 3, what has released for you in the last 6 months to 3 years because of your own inner soul work? And what is incoming for you now because of this room that has been cleared? So without further ado, I already opened the circle, welcomed the guides, cleansed the space. So let's dive right into this reading. Let's start with option 1. So option 1, what have you released? So the soul work that you have been doing in the last 6 months to 3 years has been around the martyr archetype. And the martyr is about sacrifice to the point where you don't have enough for yourself. Sacrificing in the name of good, doing it because it gives you a sense of validation. It fills that wound of not having received love and attention because of you being in the human experience, but rather needing to do something or prove something in order to receive that affection. This could be in this timeline, this could be linked to past lives, but overall, the energy of the martyr is an addiction to self-pity, because when we self-sacrifice and we give when we are not coming from a place that is full, then we are not giving from a place of pure unconditional love of self. Let's look at tarot and see what tarot has to say. 3 cards, please, for what has been released. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. So that talks about doing the inner work, right? So you have recognized at some point in your journey that you were giving more than you were receiving. You were putting a lot of effort in, but it wasn't actually giving you an abundant flow, right? Because Pentacles is about wealth, it's about money. It doesn't have to be like literal money, but it talks about that physical, tangible assets, right? And wealth can be in the form of food, in the form of time, in the form of resources, in the form of energy, right? And 8 in its light aspect is the energy of abundance, of flow, but in its shadow aspect, it's the energy of stagnation. So yep, see, so you were in this energy where you were continuously giving and giving and giving, but you weren't actually flowing. You were in the stagnation. So we have this 5 of Pentacles here, right? Another Pentacles card, and 5 is the middle point. It's a pause. It's like you thought that you were in that flow state because of that 8, but in reality, you were in that pause because, as you can see in this card, this being is wearing a tattered robe, back turned to the hearth fire, right? So it's like, I don't understand. You know, I've given all of my investments, I'm using them to take care of things, but I'm not actually like warm and home and cozy. I'm left out in the cold. Yeah, see, and then you had this aha moment, you had this breakthrough, you had this ace. So we have an 8 of Pentacles, a 5 of Pentacles, and an Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so you have an 8, a 5, and a 1. So that's a 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 is a number of breakthrough, breaking the 5, right? Because what is 5 made of? It's made of a 1 and a 4. There are other options, but we're going to stick with that 1 and the 4 here. These together bring that number 14. So you had this breakthrough, you had this realization that I cannot keep giving if I don't give to myself first, right? And it was that breakthrough, that realization that you had within yourself that broke that belief system that you had to sacrifice in order to have wealth and abundance and prosperity and goodness. You didn't have to overgive in order to receive. In fact, you might not have realized this until now, but you don't actually have to do anything to receive the love that life has ready to pour for you. Yes, is an exchange of energy. There is an exchange of effort, right? You want a garden, you want vegetables and fruit to come springtime to be there, then you need to plant the seeds. But you can also trust that when you plant the seeds, the soil is going to take the seeds and break it open and nourish the seed into life, right? And then all you have to do is just maintain it, give it water if it needs water, nourish the soil with nutrients if it needs that, right? It's about learning about that equal exchange, recognizing that you don't have to overdo, and sometimes it's about letting it go, right? So you had this breakthrough, and then you had this awakening. So you've had this awakening. So what is connecting you? What is bridging you into this new beginning? 7 of Swords, right? A beautiful energy. Swords is the mind. Okay, so you had a mental breakthrough. 7 is the energy of movement. So you had this realization of a belief system that you had, that if I work hard enough, if I do enough, if I sacrifice X, Y, and Z, then I will get my wealth and abundance. You realized that that was actually a belief system that was not serving you, that was keeping you in stagnation, that was not letting you tap into. And so what takes you from this energy to this is the 7 of Swords, right? The swords is the mind, the 7 is movement. The 7 of Swords is typically a card of defensiveness when it comes in the upright, but in this position it talks about letting that defensiveness go. Okay, letting that idea that you've done something wrong, or that you've wasted your time, or that, everything that you've done up to this point is not valued or appreciated, right? Whatever belief systems yet you've had up until this point that have kept you stuck, that have kept you from really tapping into your own wealth. And again, that wealth is time, money, energy, resources, all of those things is what constitutes wealth. By letting that belief system go, you are returning home to your intuition, because there's a masculine energy and a feminine energy in this card. The masculine energy is the energy of doing, of action, of external force. And the feminine energy is the internal force, the receiving, the surrendering, right? So there's a coming home to yourself through this full moon lunar eclipse gateway, as you let go of this idea that you need to always be doing. There has to be room for both your masculine and your feminine energies. There has to be room for you to come home to yourself, for you to rest, for you to let it go. A lot of the time, the reason why manifestations and that process doesn't actually manifest for you is because you are putting too much energy. How can you possibly receive if you don't have room to receive, if you are constantly working, if you are constantly self-sacrificing? So now that you've been doing this work, right, you've been in this cycle for a long time, that you've been actively, whether it's conscious or subconscious, there has been work going on that has broken the cycle once and for all for you. So now that this is broken, and there's room, right? Now that you're coming home and there's room to receive, what is opening for you? Wow, look at that guide. So the guide is about the divine, seeing the divine in life and in yourself, right? It is about recognizing that you are both action and inaction. You are both force and surrender. You are both stillness and movement, right? And because of that, you have awakened your own inner wisdom. You have come into this understanding, or perhaps you are coming into this understanding now through this reading, that you are your own guide. You are your own cheerleader. You are your own inspiration. And where that inspiration and that motivation and that power and that energy comes from is from the divine that courses through you, that is you. You are a manifestation of life. You are a form of divinity in human flesh. Let's get some tarot. Yeah, look at that flying out. 3 of Pentacles. Look at that. Pentacles coming back into what? Into the body, right? Mind, heart, body. 3 of Pentacles is about unity, right? It is the first formation that creates a form. So it is the first formation. 1, 1, 1. You have 3 1s creating a 3. Those 3 1s are talking about your mind, heart, and body. And that is how you become your own guide. You become your own source of inner authority and power and courage and strength when your mind, your heart, and your body are working together in harmony, in unity, communicating with each other. You are honoring your mental, your emotional, and your physical needs, which means that you listen when your heart is tired, you stop when your mind is full, you slow down when your body needs rest, right? When you listen to your body, then things start moving, because then you know when it's time to stop and you know when it's time to go. And you know that you are in alignment with your truth and your path when you feel good about it. You listen to your heart first, because the heart will communicate to the mind and the mind will tell the body what to do. So the first place to start is the heart. Look at that. Page of Wands. Page of Wands talks about the intuition, the innocence, and we talked about here coming home to that feminine energy. The feminine energy is intuitive, it is receptive, it is the first point of contact to the divine. Why? Because the woman, the female energy, the feminine energy, this is not about gender, is the portal that turns souls into humans, right? The mother, and now I am talking about gender, but the mother becomes a mother when she connects with the spirit of the child in the energy realm. And the man becomes the father when he sees, seeing the proof, seeing the evidence, sees the child. And so, in the same way, you are welcoming home your child, your intuition, because you have surrendered that masculine energy of constantly overdoing. Like, look at this card. Okay, this man looks really, really old and tired and just fed up and frustrated. Like, I'm working so hard and I just want to go and lay in the sun, right? So this is what's awakening for you. Guide and Page of Wands. Page of Wands. Wands is intuition. Page is that return of innocence, the return of lightheartedness, the return of curiosity, wanting to experiment and explore more rather than just doing things from that rigid masculine energy mindset of control. Look at that, 8 of Cups, right? So you are letting go of what up to this point was satisfying, right? This is not to say that this was a complete waste of time or this was something that made you perpetually unhappy. It just means that, look, we started with an 8 of Pentacles and we're closing this row of the reading with an 8 of Cups, right? It's like you're closing this cycle where, okay, you've done all you can with this part of your life, and now it's time to move on. It's like, wow, you've been drinking, tap water this whole time, and then you drink mountain spring water for the first time, and you're like, wow, this tastes so different. This makes me actually feel good in my body. I want to discover where this water comes from. So you decide to go on an adventure, right? But nobody knows where the water comes from. And so you start to like listen and communicate with the trees and ask the trees and ask the plants, like, hey, I want to know where this delicious water comes from. And this is just an example, right? But the point is, you are asking yourself, you become the guide that you have been seeking. You realize that you have the answers for everything you are seeking. Look at that. Okay. I was thinking in my head, what is the guidance, spirit, to support this 7 of Swords, right? So this is what bridges this. This is how you go from here to here, right? You go from being a martyr to being a guide, first for yourself, and then through your example is how you become a guide for others, right? So this was the bridge. Okay, you go from here to here by letting your defensiveness go and coming home to yourself, and stop overdoing, stop overgiving, realize that you need to start giving and doing for yourself first. So I was like, okay, so what's the guidance? And we get the Tower card, okay? And look at this. This is the number 16. This is a major card. So this energy that's happening right now for you, group one, is especially fated for you. And when I say fated, it means that in your natal chart, which is your astrology chart, which is the screenshot of the sky directly above you when you were born, according to your natal chart, what is happening right now, the changes, the shift from this energy to this energy is destined for you. It is meant to be happening right now. And this card can be really scary, right? 16 is the Tower. The Tower is like everything starts to crumble, but this doesn't have to be a bad and scary thing, right? This could be, okay, I recognize that this was good for X amount of time, but it's not serving me anymore. So I'm going to gracefully allow this change, right? You know that this is happening for you, for your highest good, because you have been calling it in. And 16 is what 7 breaks down to, right? 7 is, among other things, 16, right? So we're seeing like the way to let go of this defensiveness is to just allow this change to happen, okay? Allow that old job, that old relationship, that old belief system, those old clothes, that junk food, whatever it is that you are releasing, just letting it go gracefully, because this is fated for you. This is what's here for you at this time. This is meant for you. And then we also get the 6. Look at that. From a 16 to a 6. 6 is the lady and the Lord. This is about union between your masculine and your feminine energies, right? As you surrender, as you let this go, as you allow yourself to come home to yourself, right? We go from the 16 to the 6. And the 6 is about recognizing that the guide that you are seeking is both your masculine and your feminine energy working together in harmony with each other, working together as a team, working together to make life happen, to experience life in this here now. Let's get one final card, please. Okay, this flipped over as I was shuffling. Number 12, look at this. You have three major arcanas, okay, three major cards to guide you, into being your own guide. And another message that I'm getting as well is you might be, and because of this Page of Wands, okay, I'm receiving this extra message right now. So you might be seeing signs and synchronicities because there are some specific guides that want to connect with you at this time. They want to walk with you in this next journey. So yes, you are becoming your own guide. And additionally, there may be one, two, or even three guides in the spirit world who are wanting to work with you. And the way that you connect with them is to connect with your intuition, right? Be curious, be open. 12 is the hanged man. The hanged man is about seeing a different perspective, and there's an infinity symbol here, which is the number 8. So it's about stepping away from your own mind and allowing yourself to witness, allowing yourself to observe. This is also about cultivating a practice of meditation and stillness so that you can really start seeing and hearing that inner voice, and so that you can get clear what is your own compass and your own higher self guiding you, and what is an additional guide. It could be an ancestor, it could be an angel, it could be an archangel, it could be an animal, it could be um um a dragon, it could be a fairy. Guides come in different forms, right? It could be a grasshopper. A guide could also be in the form of a very special book, right? So guides don't necessarily take the forms that we often think of. They're often very unexpected, right? So this is also the card of the unexpected, the Page of Wands, because you are tapping into the unknown. So if you feel fear come up, replace fear with curiosity, because you can't have both curiosity and fear. Recognize that you are growing, you are expanding. Okay, 12 is about expansion of your higher consciousness. It's about connecting with the earth. Why? Because your head is close to the earth, right? So it's about that. And look, this is a masculine energy, so you got to turn that masculine rigid mindset upside down and just let the blood flow, right? Let the blood flow down into your head, because you've been standing on your feet for so long, working so hard. You have forgotten that there's more to life than just doing. You need to allow yourself to witness and experience, and then the answers will come to you. We have a 12 here, which adds up to a 3, and 3 came up here in the 3 of Pentacles. So again, it's about when you let go, when you cultivate that practice of stillness, of meditation, of reflection, of listening, of allowing, of surrendering, of letting go, of taking inspired action, of taking aligned action, of being in balance with how much you are doing. We all get 24 hours in a day. So break that down. In a 24 hours in a day, what am I doing for me? And am I, after I do for me, do I have time and room for someone else? And if the answer is no, that's okay. If you have responsibilities like children and pets, communicate with them and work together to bring some time just for you in the day. You can ask for your partner for help. You can ask your sitter for help. You can ask your kids to babysit themselves if they're old enough, and take some time, because you are not here to be somebody's servant. You are not here to self-sacrifice. You are not here to overgive, to overdo. You are here to experience life and to receive the bounty of life. And right now is the time for you to really go inward, go internal, and receive yourself, receive your higher self, and potentially these other guides that are so excited to work with you because they have seen how much work you have done on yourself. And they're like, we want to bless you right now with our wisdom and our strength and our power. So let us in. Let's close this reading with some self-love messages from the CPR deck. Some self-love messages to integrate this messages and this energy through this full moon, please. Look, 2 hands on heart. The letter C, 2 hands on heart. Affirm, I am in my body. Yes. So 3 of Pentacles, definitely a confirmation that right now is really, really important to just take care of the body. Get some good nourishing food inside of you. Get some clean water. Allow yourself that extra rest. Journal, dance, meditate, go out for walks in nature, and really just connect with your physical body. Let's get one more, please. Look, quiet, and then right under that, surrender, and then right under that, victory. Okay, I'm just going to take all of those because they're all speaking. So quiet, okay? Quiet, connect with a tree to understand stillness. I just talked about going out in nature. Here, this card comes out. So definitely some nature time. This 12 card is the Hanged Man. He's in nature. These guys are in nature. This is happening in nature. This is happening in nature. So you need to just get out of your routine. Okay. That's probably what's getting shaken up. Okay. Yeah. Your routine is getting shaken up, right? All of your like very well structured life is like changing right now. So when there is a lot of change happening, that's when it's even more important to get quiet. Quiet, just sit under a tree, go hug a tree. If you're not somewhere where there are trees, um see if there's something else. If all else fails, find a video, and you can't leave or you can't go to trees for whatever reason, find a video online of trees with some beautiful calming music, and just surrender. Okay, because what was under Q was S. Surrender. Change is the only constant. It is choice to flow or to resist, right? And the number 16 here, the Tower, is a card of change. It's change that you have no control over. Okay, this change is happening whether you like it or not. So it's up to you to just surrender and let it go and trust that all is happening for you, right? Everything is always happening for you. It is happening for your highest good. It is happening to align you with your soul purpose, right? Which potentially could be to be a guide to others, but we don't know that right now, because right now it's about being a guide to yourself, right? And then the last card that was underneath that was victory. Okay, you are victorious. This chapter is done. It's dead. It's over, right? This chapter of like being a martyr and just like always sacrificing and never receiving just the appropriate or even any kind of love and appreciation for it, that chapter is over. Victory. Raise your hands in the air and shout, I am empowered by all, right? You are empowered by all. 2 hands on heart, I am in my body, and then throw those hands in the air like you just don't care and say, I am empowered by all. This is definitely something I do several times a week whenever I just start feeling annoyed about things. I'm like, I am empowered by all, because you understand the more you work with your belief systems, that everything is happening for you, right? Change is the only constant. Get quiet, get still. It's okay to say no. It's okay to stop. It's okay to slow down. Even if you don't see the results that you want, you've put in the work. Now you got to let go so that things can come in for you, all right? So that is all that I have for you, beautiful group one. Sending you so many, many blessings for this full moon. And until we meet again, many, many, many blessings. Okay, so group two, thank you for being here, group two. So, group two, this is what you have released based on the self inner work that you have been doing in the last 6 months to 3 years. And this is what you are receiving now with this energy because you have cleared and created room to receive. So, let's look at that. What have you released? You get child divine in the shadow, right? So, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces, okay? So this is a card that talks about being, the first word that came to mind was an empath, right? Not recognizing your empathic abilities and or your empathic abilities being abused. And when I say empath, I mean in the sense of um, being a transmuter, being an alchemist, being um, a being in this human experience that has the ability to absorb the negative emotions, the traumas, the tough life experiences of the people around you, and then alchemize it or transform that energy through your body and then releasing it to spirit, right? But if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know that you have this ability or you've never been given the resources to understand that, then it just stays stuck within you, right? So you've absorbed this energy that you have the ability to alchemize, to transmute, to transform from density into light, but it's gotten stuck within you. And so because it's gotten stuck within you, it has allowed you to be taken advantage of. It has allowed you to be abused, right? And this has happened so much that you one day said, you know what, I've had enough. Like, no, I'm not going to be the punching bag for all of these people in my life because I'm a good person and I just want to love everybody and be happy. And I don't want people to hurt, but I don't know how to, you know, help them get their head out of their asses kind of thing, you know? So you finally had enough, right? And let's get some tarot here. Yeah, see, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is like that energy of like, you know what, I've had enough. Nine is right before the 10, okay? Nine of Wands talks about putting all of this energy and all of this effort, but you're not actually reaping the benefits, right? It's like, wow, you've made 9 sticks, but what are you gonna do with those sticks, right? It's like you're just really grumpy and pissed off and tired, and there's a fairy here, and he's like giving her like the stank eye, so you're like, I don't really care about anyone or anything anymore. But it's just because you're just clogged. You're literally clogged with all of this crap that you've absorbed because of your superpower that you don't know how to make work for you. And this is the card of enough is enough. Okay, I'm tired, I'm fed up, I want this to be over, but I don't know what to do anymore. And your guides, spirit guides, are like trying to talk to you, but you're just so tired and fed up and frustrated that you're not really like able to even receive that message. Oh, look at that, 0. And then boom, we get a brand new beginning. Okay, we get an opportunity Four of Pentacles. Okay, so we get the 0 and the Four of Pentacles to clarify this card. So it's like you're like, enough is enough. Okay, I'm tired. Perhaps, you lost your temper. Perhaps you just started shutting down. There are four ways that we respond to trauma, right? And this is a kind of trauma that you've experienced. There's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? So fight, you get defensive and argue and hostile. Flight, you run away, you shut down, you get numb, you get cold. Fawn, a fawn is like you just kind of like get all submissive and passive and compromise your values and beliefs to keep the peace, right? The people pleaser. And then freeze, right? You just kind of become frozen. You don't have any kind of response. You just kind of freeze. And you've had this pattern happening for so long where it finally, like, you're like, I can't do this anymore. And then you just had this breakthrough. This is a 0. You just had this breakthrough. And then Four of Pentacles talks about holding on, right? And I was talking about that energy of how you've just been holding on. You've just been holding on to all of these people's junk, right? Because you are this magical divine child, right? You are this beautiful, innocent, pure soul that has come into the human experience to be the light, to be an example of what it means to remain innocent and pure and curious. But you were born into this human experience that is full of density and toxicity and just a lot of crap, right? So it's like right now you are going through this ending, right? Because 0 is also an ending. You're going through this ending where you're realizing, like, enough is enough. I've been holding on to all this stuff. I don't even know where all this stuff came from, but I don't even know, like, what to do about it anymore. Okay, but here we are in the full moon. And what bridges you? Look at that, 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands. Just look at that energy, okay? And feel what are you seeing here? Okay, what are you seeing here? 6 of Wands, masculine energy, riding on a white horse. White, purity, innocence, masculine action, right? So with this full moon eclipse portal, you are moving away from this pattern where you're just taking everybody's stuff, and because you don't know what to do with it, and um you so help me, spirit, because you might not have known what to do with it, or because um it has happened so much where you just believe that this is just your role in life. Now is an opportunity to realize, like, no, sweet beloved one, this is not your job. Your job is not to take on other people's stuff. Your job is perhaps to support them with moving through this stuff, but first you need to learn how to empower yourself, right? Because this is in the reverse. So it's like you have absorbed so much of people's stuff, right? Four of Pentacles is about having more than you need, and how I'm reading it and the energy here. And you've become so imbued, you've absorbed so much that it's made you kind of freeze and hold on where your own light isn't shining. But you need to recognize that a lot of what is going on, a lot of that sadness and anger and depression and all of those low vibrational feelings that you're experiencing are not yours. Okay, it is literally other people's garbage, and you have allowed yourself to be their trash can. You have allowed yourself to be their emotional, energetic, mental dumping ground, right? And this isn't necessarily because you chose to or because you wanted to. This is literally your nature. Your nature is innocent and pure and light-hearted and connected with the divine, right? And what happens when you're light-hearted? What happens when you turn on a light in a room? All the moths are going to come in, all the bugs are going to come in, right? So you recognize that you are this very bright, pure, innocent light. You say, enough is enough. A lot of this shit is not mine, so I'm gonna move forward, right? 6 of Wands. Wands is intuition, listening to your intuition. You, especially you, group 2, have a very strong connection with your intuition, right? And it's a little muted right now, or maybe a lot of muted, because you're there's a lot of static, there's a lot of radio chatter and nonsense that isn't yours, distorting the signal, right? So six is about movement. Six is also the energy of the Merkaba, the six-pointed star, okay? So it's the union of mind, heart, body internally with mind, heart, body of God, goddess, and universal consciousness, you know, sky, Mother Earth, and energy. So you recognize like you need to first of all acknowledge your belief system, your heart, okay, your heart that has been basically telling you that you are, you know, you need to, this is the only way to help people by absorbing their stuff and then suffering in silence. No, no, no. Okay, that's a belief system. This is an example. This is a belief system that you recognize. Okay, no, I don't need to absorb people's crap. Okay, I don't need to take it. Enough is enough. So that's your belief system. And then you work through the mind, right? If somebody comes to you and starts dumping all their problems on you, this is an opportunity for you to use your power of voice. And this is where the body comes in to say, no, I'm not in a place to listen to your problems right now, or listen to your drama, or complain, or whatever, you know, they need to do. And then that's how you move away from this to, well, what's opening right now? Look at that, child magical. You reclaim the beauty of your childlike essence. You break through the pessimism, you break through the depression, you break through that um you know, the only way that life moves forward is by you just absorbing it all, right? You recognize that there needs to be an equal exchange of energy. um you recognize that you can't just be people's punching bag. You can't just be the dumping ground for everybody else's problems, right? Just because you have this beautiful, lighthearted, innocent, magnetic energy connected to God that just keeps you so joyful and happy all the time, it means that you need to do a little extra work to protect yourself, right? And boundaries are an act of love, right? An act of love of self, an act of love of life, okay? Because you are life, okay? Self-respect is an act of love. Let's get some tarot for this child magical. I'm just loving this, you know, from you are returning to your divinity. You are returning to that, knowing that beauty is possible, that everything is possible, and that you don't have to do it for other people. You could help them, you could guide them, but you don't have to take it on and then suffer in silence for it. Look at that, 21. This is an ending, okay? This is a major karmic completion, because that's what's happening, you know, with this full moon in North Node. North Node is about destiny, and it's wrapping up the eclipse season, and the last eclipse was sitting in the South Node, which was karma. Okay, so this is a karmic completion for you, right? And if you haven't watched my astrology, numerology, tarot video that I did, linked it in the bio, highly recommend that you do so, because what's happening for you right now is a big karmic completion. It is a big cycle of your life that is ending. And it's possible that you have may resonated with a different pile. And if you did, I encourage you to go ahead and listen to it. You know, there could be messages in all three piles for you. Take what resonates, but especially for you, pile two, this is a big cycle of your life that is closing, that is going to, you know, we have the 0 over here and we have the 21 over here. Okay, so this is just like I open at the close kind of energy. Okay, Queen of Cups, look at that. Okay, you are returning to that beautiful unconditional love of self, right? Where you see the beauty of everything and you realize that yes, there is pain and there's poison and there's garbage and junk, but you don't have to drink it all, right? To exist in this human experience. It's not your job. It's not your job to take all the poisons and hold on to them. Your whole point of being in this human experience is to love. Okay, what does a child do? A child is just like free and innocent and carefree and doesn't want to hurt the bugs and doesn't want to crush the flowers, and you know is just the pure child, okay, not the bratty children that are raised by parents who or guardians who don't really have any self-respect. I'm talking about the pure innocence of a child that comes into this world and isn't tainted by ego or selfishness or pettiness or drama or labeling, right? They come with this purity of love. They just want to love everyone. They don't distinguish between skin color or race or gender or whatever. They're just pure love. And that's what's opening for you right now. Queen of Cups. This is the card of unconditional love. And that unconditional love is always the love of self, because we can only be unconditional with ourselves, and then we can express ourselves, and then another being can choose to receive that or not. One more card, please, for this magical child energy. Look at that, the High Priest. Okay, so what is this high priest energy? So the high priest is the energy of the divine masculine. Okay, so you have the high priestess, which is the divine feminine energy internally, and then you have the empress, which is the divine feminine externally, and then you have the emperor, which is the divine masculine externally, and then the hierophant or the high priestess, which is the divine masculine internally. Okay, so what this is meaning is that you are recognizing that you have this immense masculine spiritual power that works by expressing healthy love. And healthy love looks like having healthy boundaries, learning how to say no, and being empowered in your no, not taking on more than you are able to, right? And then giving away the extra, okay? Giving it back to Mother Earth. Can we get some cards to clarify how to transition these energies from this to this through this full moon lunar eclipse, please? Okay, Knight of Wands. Okay, look at that feminine energy moving into more of giving to self, receiving for self, following the intuition, leaving the village. What is the village? The village is all of these people that have just been filling up your space to the point where you just feel like helpless and hopeless and depressed and anxious, right? You're like, nope, I'm going off on an adventure. See, look at that. Knight of Wands here, Six of Wands here. I'm going off on an adventure. I'm going to go find myself. I don't care if it's just my yoga mat and a bottle of water and some snacks. I'm just going to go off. The horse is about long journey and distance, right? So you're going into a long journey to reclaim your spiritual power that works silently through the expression of love. Nine of Pentacles, right? So Nine of Pentacles talks about being very clear about what it is that would bring you fulfillment and happiness, as you go on this internal quest to reclaim that magical, divine, pure, innocent, sacred child that you are. This is like your innate essence. Okay, this is your innate essence. Then you get clear on what would actually make me feel fulfilled, right? Not this nine of wands over here where you're just like all by yourself and pissed off and cranky, even though you've been doing all this work. But this Nine of Pentacles, where it's like, wow, I have a partner, I have these kids, and they don't have to be actual physical children, right? And this doesn't have to be an actual physical person. This is about coming into union with your masculine and feminine energies. And these children could be art projects, book projects, cooking projects, community projects. It doesn't matter. The point is that you birth something by going on this journey. This feminine energy is going on a journey internally to reconnect with that masculine power. Okay, because when the masculine energy is in its power, when there's the divine masculine in union within yourself, you are not going to just allow people to talk shit and walk all over you. Okay, so right now this journey is about going within yourself, getting clear. Look at that, emotions. Okay, getting clear on you. Okay, what feels good to you. You know that you are in a vibrational resonance with your own inner truth when what you're daydreaming about, what you're working actively towards, right? And what are you working actively towards? You're working actively towards reclaiming your own magical child divine essence. Okay, this is what your journey now is about. This is the next phase of your evolution in this human experience, facing your feelings, honoring all of the times that you didn't have self-respect, where you didn't stand up for yourself, where you didn't honor your truth, where you were a people pleaser, right? These are difficult emotions. Okay, this is why we have the 18 before the sun comes out. You got to go through the night to get to the light, right? So it's like you're going towards the light, but before you get to that light, you're going to have to face your feelings. And in between there, you're going to get very clear on what is actually going to make you feel like you have all of your wishes fulfilled, and you face your emotions, right? What makes me feel empowered, joyful, curious, excited about life? That's what you write down. That's what you continue to visualize in your heart as you do the work of getting all of this clutter out of your head, out of your home, out of your community. Doesn't matter, right? Anywhere that there's this other people's baggage, right now it's the journey of letting that baggage go, facing your feelings about it, so that you can really return to this beautiful, magical essence that honors the beauty in other people without taking on their poison. And because when you step into this, return to this, rather, you're not stepping into anything, you're literally returning to yourself, right? Then this divine masculine energy awakens within you and guides you on how to speak your truth, so that you honor yourself, you honor your boundaries. You um no means no, and yes means yes, and in between is a no, and it's okay to say no. And I'm able to listen to other people's problems without taking it on. And I'm able to see the light through someone's darkness. And then after I actively listen to what they're saying and hold space for their experience, I can be that guide for them, and I can help them recover their own innocence and their own joy. Okay, so let's pull some CPR cards to let's take this out, to wrap up this reading, some self-love messages to integrate this transition that is happening through this full moon eclipse. Meditate. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be a really important practice for you to instill. Wow, instill, what is that? Ew, I don't like that word. To instill. Okay, to instill, right? And this meditation is the practice of observing. Okay, one of the biggest problems that a lot of my clients come to me with is, I don't know how to meditate, or meditating is really overwhelming and makes me anxious. Okay, if meditation is making you anxious, you're not doing it right. Okay, because meditation is literally the practice of observing the mind. Okay, so it's about just witnessing without doing. That's what meditation is. That's the meditation 101. Okay, yes, there's other ways of meditation, emptying the mind, so on and so forth, but those are master practices. Okay, meditation 101 is how to just be the observer, and you need to develop, right? This is a discipline, this is your practice, right? This is your journey. You're embarking on this journey of returning to yourself, and this is also going to be the anchor that helps you face those difficult emotions when they come up. And it's really simple. Set a timer for the same time every day, and for 88 seconds, that's like 2.5 minutes. Okay, just observe without reacting. Okay, you observe the thought, oh my God, I want pizza, and I want pepperoni on that pizza, and oh, I want cheese and mushrooms. Just observe it, right? You don't have to like grab your phone and order from the local pizza joint. Okay, that's not what that means. It means you're just observing the mind, or you're observing all the emotions that are coming up. Oh, I don't want to sit here, I'm anxious and stressed, I wonder what's on Netflix. You're just observing what's coming up. Set a timer and just observe. and it'll get easier. And you might be surprised to find that you set a timer for 2 minutes, and just as you're getting into it, the timer goes off, and you're like, damn it, but I want to go longer, right? Set yourself a small goal, right? If you set yourself a goal for 2 minutes and then you're actually sitting there for like 5 minutes, you're like, wow, I did so much. I meditated for 5 minutes today, right? It's about setting yourself those little goals. But the key, and I cannot reinforce this enough, is consistency, right? You got to be consistent with it, because it's like a muscle. You're building a muscle of trust with yourself, right? With your body and your intuition, right? And that's where you're going right now. You're going into the empowerment of your intuition, okay? That's what the high priest is about. It's empowerment of intuition. And because the high priestess is the intuition itself, but high priest is empowerment of intuition, right? And you build that bridge of trust for yourself by committing to this small little practice every day. Okay, super helpful for you at this time. And then G, gratitude. Thank me, thank you, thank all. Okay, as you're meditating and all of these thoughts and all of these emotions are coming up. And a metaphor that I like to share with meditation is, imagine that your mind is like a freeway, okay? In one direction, you have cars that are your thoughts, and then in the other direction is cars that are your emotions, right? And the practice of meditation is like sitting on the bypass and just, or on a hill somewhere, looking down at this freeway, and you're watching all of the cars going this way and that way, the thoughts, the emotions, zip 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 zip, and then you're just observing the cars. Okay, you're like, oh, okay, that's where that thought's going, and that's where that emotion's going, and oh my gosh, there was an accident there, right there, and there's like the thoughts and emotions are like having a fight, and thank me, thank you, thank all. Just observe that. Thank me, thank you, thank all, right? Close your meditation practice with this gratitude practice, and it'll really add a layer of sweetness to that practice. Okay, let's get one more card here. Okay. And then the last card we get is KISS, KISS. Keep it sweet and simple. Okay. And this talks about, the message on this card is kiss a plant, pet a bug, or ask someone for a hug, right? It's about allowing yourself to receive gentle support during this time. Okay, you can have your little pet kitty with you, you can go for a nature walk, you can reach out to a non-toxic, non-draining, non-dumping friend. Okay, and if you don't have those and you need to make new friends, that's okay too, right? That's okay. But it's okay to reach out for comfort during this process, because it's going to be really intense, right? When the moon card comes out, it's about intense emotions. Okay, so it's okay to have an ally or a friend, or even like a tree that you talk to. Okay, when I was doing my deep emotional journey for like 3.5 years, the trees were my best friends. I would go and I would sit under a tree and I would just cry and talk and sing, and it was really comforting to me, right? So you just, the kiss is about keep it sweet and simple. Okay, you don't have to explain yourself, and that's why I like going to trees, because I didn't want to have to deal with humans. But not everyone's like me, right? So if you have someone that you trust, that isn't draining you of your life force, that is supporting you on your journey, right? That isn't asking anything of you, but it's just holding space for you. And that's the key, right? Make sure that they're not asking of you anything at this time, because right now you really need to give to yourself and just allow yourself to receive that comfort. Okay, and that's really going to help you help your journey with reconnecting with your child. And you are this divine magical child, and what does a child need? A child needs a community, right? A child comes into this human experience to be with their guides, their guardians, their parents, right? So you, especially pile number two, are a being in this human experience who didn't come to this human experience to be, to experience it alone or to spend a lot of time alone. You literally like thrive and are nourished by human connection. This isn't a reading that would come up for me, because my archetype is the hermit and a couple of other things. So I was born to spend a lot of time alone in this human experience, right? But not everybody is me. You are born as a child, so you are born to connect with other people. But this beautiful ability and gift that you were born into to connect with all the people of the world has just been misused, right? So you're returning to yourself now. So it's okay to have an ally or a guide or a friend or even a tree or a pet rock, you know, a stuffed bear. It doesn't matter. It's okay to have someone to just nurture that child, okay, in a healthy, non-codependent, non-draining kind of way, okay? So those are the messages that I have for you, group 2. Thank you so much for being here, for receiving these messages. May all integrate with ease, grace, light, peace, love, and harmony. And until we meet again, many, many, many blessings. Hi there, group 3. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being patient and for being here, for choosing to receive these messages of love, healing, and empowerment. So over here we have what has been released from the inner soul alchemy work that you have been doing these past 6 months to 3 years. And this is what is now incoming because of the room that has been cleared thanks to this. So let's take a look. All right, so we get companion in the shadow aspect. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that you have had a propensity to gossip, to share information that was shared with you in confidence. You know, this says betrayal by misusing confidence, loss of personal identity. Okay, so this talks about how you may have lost yourself in relationships. You may have, you know, sacrificed who your core values are to keep the peace. You know, you may have overshared information, you may have gossiped, you may have created drama, you may have participated in drama, right? You haven't really honored the true meaning of a companion. And what is a companion? A companion is someone who is in integrity of self and of the relationship. What does that mean? It means loyalty, it means endurance, it means respect of self and respect of the other. It means fighting, not fighting, but standing up, right, for the people that you love rather than gossiping about them or being drama, you know, engaging in drama about them or spreading lies or spreading rumors, right? So this is what you have been actively or inactively, consciously or unconsciously working through. And now this cycle has been released. So let's get some tarot to further clarify this card, please. Look at that, 0, a big completion. Another pile got this card in the same section. So if another pile resonates with you, go ahead and check that out. And if you choose the pile where this comes out, pay extra attention and take what resonates, okay? Okay, let's shuffle this. Okay, one more time. Okay, 2 more cards, please. Yeah, 6 of Cups, okay? And the Lord of Shadows. Look at that. 0, 6 of Cups, and 13, the Death card. Yeah, so this has been a big realization that you've had. And because of this card right here, I'm seeing that it is possible, and this could be just for some of you, right? Because this is a general reading, take what resonates. It is possible that some of you have lost a very special connection in your life. This could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be a lover, right? There is a very special person in your life where there is some kind of separation and ending that happened because of the poor boundaries that you had around relationships. Okay, you have the 0, the 13, and the 6 of cups. So the way these energies are playing out, I'm seeing the shadow over here, and these two people are walking away, and this butterfly and this well here, and I'm going to talk about the symbolism of the well in a moment here. So there has been an ending, a death, right? And death isn't necessarily always physical. Physical death is just one form of death. Death could be the change of seasons, right? Death could be the transition from single to not single, from, being in a relationship to not being in a relationship, being in a friendship to not being in a friendship, right? Or being, you know, not in a friendship and then going into a friendship, right? You're ending not having a friend and now you're opening a cycle of being having a friend. But I'm seeing here with you, group 3, that you have been on this journey and on this cycle where you haven't been able to really cultivate healthy, happy, and long lasting connections in your life because of this abuse of personal power, right? This is a card in the reverse, in the shadow. Look, this came up in the shadow. We're saying the Lord of Shadows here. So it's like you may not have known better. Okay. And this is the thing about awakening that is really difficult to accept sometimes, is that we literally don't know better until we realize it. And then when we realize it, we're like, oh man, that's really horrible. Like that really sucks. That's really, really shitty. Right. So it's like you've had this realization, or now you're coming into this realization that you have abused trust, you have abused loyalty. Somebody confided in you and then you went and spilled the beans because you just weren't taught how to have healthy boundaries around what you share. And also the other part of that is it's not always a physical action, right? It's sometimes an energetic transference, and that is a big way that energies get that is a big way that relationships sometimes break, is there's an energetic dissonance, right? Everything starts in the vibrational field, everything starts as a vibration, right? So if somebody is not loyal and faithful in their heart space and they carry this energy of, oh, okay, I'm just going to act like a reckless foolish child, because there are two children here, right? Children don't know how to keep secrets, and they learn how to do that when they mature, when they grow, when they are given that instruction, hopefully in a healthy way, in a non-abusive way, from their parents, from their teachers, from their guardians. But if they didn't receive that training and that knowledge, they may not know how to hold loyalty, how to have integrity, how to have faithfulness in a relationship, right? Again, this doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. This could literally be like two friends, like you share something with your friends in confidence, and then you find out like they're talking about your business to some people that they just met, or their coworkers, or they're just like writing about it in their journals, and then somebody looks at their journals, and then you get really upset, like, hey, I trusted you because you're my friend, and then you don't really have any self-respect, and then that means you don't have any respect for me and what I'm sharing with you. So there's been a big ending here, right? And because this relationship or friendship or whatever ended, that's what woke you up. That's what made you realize that the way you were treating your friend or your relationship or both, or your job or whatever it might be, whatever the ship is, when that ended, okay, you got a 0 and a 13 here. 13 breaks down to a 4. 4 is a foundation. So a foundation was broken. When that ended, that was your wake up call. You realize, like, wow, I've actually been the shitty person. And this whole time I thought I was a good person, but I wasn't a good person in the situationship. Okay. So you've had this realization, and this is something that's been going on consciously and or subconsciously, right? No shame here. Okay. No shame here, letting that go. We are now in an opportunity where we are releasing this. Okay, you've had this realization. Now you have this understanding that you've had very poor boundaries. You haven't respected yourself and your ships, and you've potentially lost someone for good. And you know what? Sometimes that's just what happens. Sometimes the child doesn't learn when the parent says, hey, don't stick your hand in the and the electric faucet, the child will be like, okay, I won't do that. Or they'll be like, I'm going to do what I want. And they stick their finger in the socket and they get electrocuted and then they learn the hard way, right? So, in the same way, life experiences sometimes come and they give us warnings, right? Like friendships don't just end because of a silly fight over pizza, right? Long-term friendships, anyway. Friendships end because there's been a deep break in trust, right? So it's like you finally, like the universe stepped in and said, hey, what you're doing is not okay. And you've had to lose this good person in your life for you to realize that your behavior is really shitty. Okay. But that's now ending. So let's look at what's coming in. What's the bridge? What's the bridge? Okay. How do you walk away from this into this? Okay. You say enough is enough. Okay. Enough is enough. And then we get the card of servant. Okay, so this is a tricky card, and I love this deck, but I really don't like this word servant. I'm going to look at, where's the book? I'm going to look and see if there's a different word for it, because servant's a tricky word, right? Servant could give the attitude of sacrificing oneself, right? And you don't want to do that. You don't want to go from the extreme of like disrespecting people in relationships, whether it's intentional or not, to just like sacrificing yourself, right? So servant's a tricky word. So let me just clarify what this means. So servant in this sense, okay, talks about choosing, choosing, okay, choosing to love with choosing to love from a place of personal empowerment. Okay. I'm going to pull some tarot before I say more about this. Look at that star, the healing card. Okay. The 7. Wow. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing in these cards. Okay. So we have 17, which is the card of healing, right? So you've gone through this very potentially like sudden dramatic ending. Okay, we didn't get the Tower card here, so that's okay, right? That's great. Okay, but we've had some kind of ending. Okay, some kind of separation. Okay, there could be a timeout. Like you may not like have completely have separated ways, but there's definitely been like a big break, like a shakeup call, right? So we get the 17 and we get the 7. So this has shaken up your world so much, the point where you're like, okay, enough is enough. There's something clearly wrong. Okay. That's what that 9 of Wands is like. Enough is enough. I'm kind of like getting pissed off with myself right now because this is a pattern that's been going on in my life. And if something keeps repeating in your life, it's not them, it's you. Okay. There's something happening within your consciousness, within your subconscious that you might not be aware of. And a lot of these belief systems of of self-neglect, of disrespect, aren't conscious most of the time. Okay, sometimes they are, and that's a different topic, but a lot of these behaviors of not having healthy boundaries are not conscious until they're made conscious, right? And that's what that star card talks about. It's like, oh, there's a star here. It's like, oh my gosh, now I'm realizing like what I've been doing is actually not loving. And that's what the servant card is talking about. It's talking about coming into a ship from a place of a free and loving heart, not from a place of needing to have a sense of power, okay, needing to have some sense of control in the relationship. Because when we betray trust, it stems, okay, broken trust comes from a place of unworthiness, of I don't feel safe and secure in myself and or in this ship, and the only way I can feel safe is by exerting my dominance, having control, and using that. And it comes out in subconscious ways, such as spilling the beans about things that aren't your business to share, right? If someone comes and shares something with you, that doesn't mean that you have permission and consent to go tell other people. It means that they trust you enough because they see that light, okay? They see that light within you. They see that loving, free, gentle heart that just, you know, not servant in the sense of servitude, but servant in the sense of like, I just want to give and I just want to share my love with you. And I just want to feel like I'm included in your life. Okay. So it's like you're having this realization. You get the 17 and the 7. Okay. So two sevens are showing up here and a 1, which is the opening opportunities. 1 and 7 is 8, right? You're moving away from the stagnant energy into a flow, and you get the Queen of Pentacles. This tells me that you have so much to offer in this world just by being who you are. Like, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is the energy of the feminine that is abundant. What does that mean? It means that you have this ability to make the people in your life feel at home, feel comfortable. Okay. And you could be living in a hut in the middle of, you know, Ghana. Okay. You could be living in a hut with one banana tree and two coconut trees outside your hut, and people would still love to come and visit with you. And you're just like, you know what? I'm going to go and get some coconuts from that tree, and I'm going to make you coconut soup. And we're just going to have soup made with coconuts and I don't know, some lemongrass that you find randomly, right? Because you have this innate nature of service. And that's really what this card is talking about. It's like your love language of giving, of showing how much you love is service. But you need to recognize that that is your innate quality and gift of being in this human experience, right? And to really look at where you have held on to expectation, where you have had your, you know, your or somebody else's beliefs that say that somebody has to do X, Y, and Z in order for them to receive this unconditional love of heart of service that you have to offer, right? You're literally having this awakening right now. 0, 13, 17, you know, these are cards of awakening. You are awakening to the fact that you just need to just be. Okay, look at this card, Queen of Pentacles. This energy is just like sitting there taking a nap, okay, under her big ass luscious tree. Okay, she's not out in the fields, she's not gossiping with anybody, she doesn't even have like, there's no one there. Okay, there's this dove here, so peace, right? So this is about you being at peace with yourself, right? The feminine energy is internal, which means that you have so much inherent value simply for being in this human experience. You don't need to go and do anything to assert your presence in this world. You literally can just be a hermit, okay? And people will still gravitate towards you because energy is the loudest language, okay? Our vibrational field, our energetic field is the loudest language, right? This is why we're able to like find old trees from miles and miles away because they are emitting a frequency of unconditional love. What does that mean? They're big, ancient, giant trees. So they are the home for many bugs and animals and birds, right? They have this unconditional love is an internal quality. It's not an external quality. Okay. The sun gives its unconditional love of life and healing to the planet. The moon gives its unconditional love of light through the full moon in the night. You know, the stars give their unconditional love and guidance to the beings of the planet Earth to guide them home, you know. In the same way, you have this innate sense of unconditional love where your love language of giving is literally just being in the human experience and allowing, you know, your relationships to come and go because your nature is to just be of service and love the people in your life. Okay, but because of whatever you were taught or not taught, you don't realize that until now. So now is an opportunity for you to shift away from that pattern where you are leaving the comfort of your own home to go and assert your dominance in a way that is actually hurting you in the long run. So let's get some tarot on how to integrate this beautiful transition, right? This is such an amazing, beautiful transition. And please don't get hung up on this word servant, okay? It's about service to life, from the unconditional loving self that knows that it is always overflowing with abundance and it doesn't need to overexert, right, to do or to show love and appreciation. So this is the first card, Three of Swords. Okay, yeah, okay, yep, that resonates. Okay, Six of Swords, another swords card. Okay, so there's been a lot of mental energy. Okay, you've been stuck in the mind energy. And then Page of Wands, yeah. So Three of Swords, it talks about the heartache. Okay, there's been some heartache that has been caused, that you have caused, that has been created in your life because of your choices, your poor choices, right? So there is heartache, but now you're coming home back to yourself. Okay, feminine energy, feminine energy. Can't, oh, this looks like a masculine energy, and this is also a masculine energy. So feminine energy ending this. Okay, so you're coming back to that feminine energy, and the feminine energy is the energy of service, right? It's not that it's greater or lesser than the masculine energy, it's just a different kind of energy. The feminine energy is unconditionally loving, it is receptive, it is nurturing, right? This is further affirming that your innate nature is nurturing. You literally thrive on just loving the people in your life. You just have to recognize that not everybody's like you. Okay, so just because you give love in a certain way, that doesn't mean that somebody else is going to give love to you in that same way back. And you have to use your words, right? These are swords energies, right? But these two cards, Three of Swords is about heartache, Six of Swords is about leaving. Six of Cups here, Six of Swords here. Okay, these are cards about um, leaving something behind that has lost its flavor. Okay, this is going towards better, okay, for lack of a better word, waters. This is going into something that is more nourishing, more fulfilling for you. Okay, so it's like you've experienced this heartache and loss, now you're going to go on this journey. Okay, you're having this realization, right? Feminine energy, you're internally receiving this message. Okay, I've experienced some loss, swan, beauty, um and now it's time to tap back into your own wellspring. And I said that I was going to talk about this well here. So the well is about the inner depths, right? How do you access your inner depths? You see, from the Three of Swords we get Six of Swords. This man, okay, masculine energy, is about taking action, is about to go on a journey with his horse. Okay, and there's a mule here. Okay, so there's a horse here in the seven, two horses, right? So it's like you are taking action towards going into those deeper waters within self. Page of Wands, intuition. You are diving into the well of your own consciousness. You are returning into that wellspring of your own beauty, of your own free, unconditionally loving heart. And Page of Wands, listening to your intuition, returning to that state of innocence, of curiosity, of wanting to experience life for the sake of experiencing life, not having an agenda, not having a motive, not having power struggles, you know, because this card is right here is talking about power struggles, right? It's like you're the way to transition into this energy is look at what your choices created, learn from that. Okay, dive deep into the wellspring of your own shadows, right? Look at what you have chosen to do, how you have chosen to treat yourself and the people in your life, where you haven't been honoring your innate essence of abundant, nurturing, loving mother, right? Gender doesn't matter. You could be a masculine body that has a very heavy feminine energy, right? And that is how you move, you transition, you reawaken this star magnetic power. You become the North Star that guides people home to themselves, and you're just waiting with tea and soup and flowers and a cozy comfy bed, right? You love the people that come into and out of your life, and you become a true companion. You know, the word companion is a word that goes beyond friendship. It goes beyond partnership. It goes beyond relationship. A companion is an ally. Okay. It's like, we're going to be I'm going to be there for you no matter what, whether we get married or not married, doesn't matter. A companion is someone who is there, who is loyal, who loves you unconditionally, right? That's what a companion is, right? But it's been in the shadow. You have been acting from a place of um, not love, right? Not love. And so you are now going through this journey where you are healing from the heartbreak that you have caused, that has been created. It takes two parties, absolutely. But in this section, in this reading, you are a big contributor to this major heartache and ending that has happened. And now you need to go on this journey, the Six of Swords, going into where your mind has created these circumstances for you so that you can really heal. You can become the North Star for the beautiful people in your life. You can become their companion. It's like they know where to find you, and you're just chilling under that tree, and your companions, whether they're friendships or relationships or partnerships, whatever, they can go off and they can do their journeys, and you trust that they're going to come home, and you're the North Star. You guide them home. Okay, they move towards you because your movement is internal. You are so confident and sure in yourself, and then they gravitate towards you because you know how to be of service first to yourself. And when you learn how to be of service to yourself, then you are able to break free these attitudes of mistrust. Okay, so let's get some final cards here from the CPR deck. How to integrate this reading through this full moon portal, please. C, two hands on heart, center, I am in my body. So place two hands on your heart. Your heart is going through a lot of healing right now through this recent heartache and loss and separation that has happened. So place two hands on your heart and just gently reassure your heart, like, hey, little beautiful heart, we've made some poor decisions, and there was a really good person in my life, and they're not in my life right now, and we don't know if we're going to get them back, but we've got each other. Okay, we've got each other. I'm in my body. Breathe. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Okay, the breath is the bridge. It'll guide you from one moment to the next. If you've ever heard or been through an AA or NA meeting, they're like one day at a time. That's too much for me. Okay, when I was going through my recovery process, one day at a time was like, no, kill me now. Okay, that sounds horrible. I don't want to wait an entire day. But one breath at a time, that's so much easier, right? Because it's in the now. One breath in the now, to the next now, to the next now. Okay, one breath. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Hand on heart. I am in my body. I am in my body. Okay. And then this one, thank you, thank me, thank all. Okay, thank your emotions, thank your heartache, thank, this ending that has happened, thank every single experience that has brought you to this here now moment where, yeah, you might be having a really hard time with this realization, with this understanding that you have abused your personal power, where you have really broken someone's heart because of the childish, immature ways that you have acted, right? Again, this is not a shaming or a guilting or a blaming thing, right? This is just recognizing, awakening. What are the stages of awakening? We acknowledge, okay, this is what I did. This is what you know, this is what happened. We're not going into coulda, woulda, shouldas. Okay, that doesn't serve. That's living in the mindset of regret and shame and guilt. It's just acknowledging what happened and what is. Okay, and then apologizing to self first, and then apologizing to someone else if that is needed. And then the last step is action. Okay, so acknowledge, apologize, action, because a true apology is action included. Okay, those are the stages of awakening. So you've had this realization, okay, this is hard, this is really hard. Okay, I'm in my body, breathe, Inhale, exhale, repeat. Thank me, thank you, thank all. Okay, everything is happening for my highest good. Everything is happening to bring me home to myself, right? Even the pain, there is medicine, there is power in this pain. Okay, this pain is teaching me that I have so much love. Okay, when we hurt, it's because there's an equal, if not greater, love underneath that pain, right? And the pain is showing you how much you love. This is why when we experience death and loss, we hurt so much. Okay, that hurt is showing you how much capacity of love you actually have. So, hand on heart, I am in my body. Breath, inhale, exhale, repeat, and then gratitude. Thank me, thank you, thank all of your emotions, thank all of your experiences, and slowly, okay, from 17 to 7, this is a journey. This isn't going to happen overnight. Okay, you're not going to wake up tomorrow after listening to this reading and be like, yep, I'm good now. Okay, that doesn't work like that. Okay, that's a false belief program, right? The fruit, the seed doesn't become an apple tree overnight. It takes a while, right? It takes a while, and you have to nurture that seed, especially when it's young. So right now you are nurturing the seed of your curiosity, of your innocence, of your masculine energy. This is a masculine energy. You have this old man going on a journey. Okay, this old man, what does this old man represent? It's an old masculine energy of acting from a place of immaturity, right? You are taking this old man out, putting him down, and you are awakening this young masculine energy that is curious, that is playful, that's inviting, that wants to learn about how to be in healthy connections, how to really express that free loving, unconditionally loving spirit without expectation, without codependency, without, you know, power struggles. Okay, so hand on heart, I am in my body. Take time to breathe out and just have gratitude for all that is happening for you, because all is always happening for your highest and best good. Everything that is happening is bringing you into greater at one ment with yourself. Okay. So those are all the messages I have for you, beloved. Thank you so much for being here today, for receiving these messages of love, healing, and empowerment. May they integrate with ease, grace, peace, love, light, and harmony. And until we meet again, many, many, many blessings.